Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to explain how to work with route parameters. Okay, so view router concept we are discussing. In previous videos, I have explained view router and also navigating from a code. View router, what is the use of view router? You can view multiple web pages in a single website using view router concept. For that, you can use router hyphen link and router hyphen view. So router hyphen link, which is used to link the web pages, multiple web pages in a single website. And to view the link, you can use router hyphen view. These two will be used to give more links in a single website. And also how to navigate the pages directly from the code. Okay, that also I explained. Just to watch the previous videos. And today I'll explain how to work with the route parameters. So parameters, which means you can directly pass the parameters in your routes. So when you give the link, okay, when you give the link, you can directly pass the parameters. So here just I have here I have created three view components: home and user. View components are home, user, contact, and about. Okay, I'll explain you with the code. See here. So open your Visual Studio. This is my home page, home component. Simply, just I have included home page with h1 tag. And the second one is about page. In the about page, just you can include anything about your website. And this is the contact page. Okay, in the contact page only, I'm going to pass the parameters. Okay, so what are the parameters I'm going to pass here? User one. So this is the syntax for passing the parameter. So my application is just I'm passing user id here. Okay, so this is my user component. From contact page, I am passing parameters in the route itself. Okay, when you give the route link, okay, that in that route link itself, you can pass the parameters. So from contact page to user page, I am passing parameters, and in the user component, it just it captures that parameter and displays that parameter. So what parameter you're passing from contact? For example, for Raja, Rajan, Kalai, and Karthik, there are four users here. So all the four users, just I created links, route links. Okay, so here you can mention, this is the syntax. Okay, so first slash user, which represents your user component. This is your parameter. What is your parameter? This is your parameter I'm passing. So this is the user ID for Raja. So 1 for Raja, 2 for Rajan, 3 for Kalai, and 6 for Karthi. I am passing four parameters for each user. And in the user component, just it captures those parameters and it displays the parameters. That's all. Okay. So in the data property, return user ID. So this is user ID, data property name. This dot root dot params ID. So in the root, what parameters you are passing? Okay, just I'm going to assign that parameter here in the data property user ID, and you can print that user ID. You can use must hash syntax to print the user ID for each user. That's all. So this is for capturing that parameters from contact component, and after capturing you can print it. So this line is for print. This line is for to print the how to print the user id for each user. Just capture the parameters from contact page and you can print it for each user. So this is user component. So totally how many components I created? This is my main component app.view. Except that home, simple home page I have included, and about page, simple about page I included. Contact page, in the contact page only, I have included route link for each user, and also I'm passing parameters for each user. This is example for route with params. You can also pass the parameters in the routing link itself. You can also pass the parameters. This is example for route with params. So when you pass the parameters in the user component, just it captures those parameters and it will print the user id for each user. So this is my application, and one of the main thing we need to do. Okay, so four components I have created. These are all child components. Okay, what is the main component we have here? App.view. So in the app.view, give the link to all the four. Okay, home, contact, about, user. In the contact page, I have included a root link for user, so leave the user component. So now, other than user, how many components we have? Home, contact, about. So give the link for these three: home, about, contact. Because in the contact page itself, I have created the link for user. So don't create the separate link for user in the app component, because create the link for contact. Okay, it will go to the contact page, and in the contact page I have created link for user, and then it will go to the user component. So I have created four component. Okay, in the contact page I have created link for user. So totally in the app.view, just to create link for home, contact, about. It's enough. Okay, based on the application you can create any number of components. Okay, it's not at all a problem. You can create any number of components. And index.js, go to your index.js. It's very very important. So here already in previous class, just view the previous videos. I have explained whatever components you have created, you have to import all those components initially first in the index.js. So I have created home, contact, about. Now I have included user also. So first import all the components and create routes. Okay. So path equal to slash. So this is default path for home page. So this this is the link. Okay. When you see, go to the app.view, when you create the link for home, use this path only, slash. This is default path. And for the next contact, what is the path? Slash contact. This is a path name. This is your path, and name also you can define each name for each component. Okay, for home component this is the path, for contact component this is the path. Similarly, for about component this is the path, and for user component this is the path, because user slash, okay, colon id. So I am passing this id as a parameter here. So this is the example for param, the route with param. So when you pass the parameters from the route, okay, this is the syntax. Okay, the same syntax you have to follow when you create the link here. See, contact.view, I have created link for user. So the same link, see here, slash user slash. Go to the index.js slash user slash colon id. So here, that colon id, instead of colon id, you have to mention that parameters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the syntax for passing the parameters in the root. Okay, that's all. So in the index.js, import all the components and also create path name for each component. That's all. So first create all the components. Okay, and in the index.js, import all the components and create path for each component. When you create the path for each component, here this is a path for about page, right? Here I'm not passing any parameter. If you want to pass the parameter, again put one slash, and what parameter you're going to pass, id or anything, just mention that name here. Okay, this is the default. This is the syntax for defining the path. Okay, when you pass the parameter, this is the syntax for defining the path, and use this syntax when you create the link. Okay, so in the contact page only I've created link for user. So here use that syntax here. Okay, and app.v, this is your parent component. So in the parent component, create link for all the child components. That's all. So save all the files. This is your local host. Just copy this and go to the browser. Just give this, copy and paste it. See here, three components I have: home page, about page. In the contact page only, I have some list of users. If I click that user, then it will show the user ID. Again, go to the second user. This is the user ID for second, and this is the user ID for third. And what is the fourth user ID? I have mentioned, I have passed six, right? So you can, if you want to change the user ID, you can also change it. Go to the contact page. Here, just I am passing four. Okay, here suppose if you want, you can do, just you can change the ID for each user. ID should be unique, so you can assign ID for each user. So go to the contact page, and now Raja, click the first user. This is ID for first user. This is ID for second user. Okay, just try this code. How to work the route with the param. So working the route with param. Just try this code. Thank you.